I'm sitting here together with Fred Shoemaker.
Martin, nice to meet you, yes.
And also a very special day today. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much.
I don't tell your age here. It's up to you.
Yes, we'll save it.
But I'm very happy that we can do a session like that.
Well, it's nice to be here. Even though a birthday is a special day, it's special to share it with other people.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, when we met, I remember our first time when I come to California, to Palm Springs, and was it my first program with you and your team. Of course, there's some wonderful coaches in your team too. My journey was a bit like that. I struggled a lot with my own game.
Yes.
I tried a lot of things. I met a lot of teachers, got a lot of lessons, but the only thing I could do was a very, very powerful movement, a very special movement called the slice, and I'm the master of the slice at that stage.
Yes.
When I come there, and you told me, I'll never forget that. Well, I saw 43,000 golfers on video, but you're the #1 slicer.
So it's good to be the best at something.
Yeah, best at something. Yes. So I mastered that.
Yes. Well, what you probably are not going to say about yourself, but I can say, is that you're a great student. That's the one thing that struck me when I first met you. It's someone who's willing to put themselves through a process, and someone who's willing to tell the truth about themselves, and have very little upset, or it should be different. So when you meet as many people as I have in sports, especially in learning, it becomes clear what a great student is. If there are such things, clarity. And I noticed that you were one. And that's one thing I've always appreciated. You're willing to use your own game as a crucible for learning. So it isn't for you just about understanding and concepts and information, although you have a great understanding. What I notice is that you say, I'm willing to use my own body and my own game to be the basis for how I'll be as a coach. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah, thank you.
And that slice didn't last very long, which is really nice too.
Yeah, that changed a lot.
Yeah.
And what struck me then in the first 3-day program was your different approach you developed over the years. Maybe you can tell from your point of view what's the main thing between teaching.
Yes.
I had a lot of teaching. You have to do that.
Yes.
I put into positions and all that, but that didn't change, I think, anything.
Well, teaching means something like this. I have an answer, and I put my answer over there. And if you can follow my model and practice diligently, you'll get to a place that I feel you should be.
Yeah, and that felt for me quite often very uncomfortable. Then someone put me in here, have to do this one, that one. I really was not able to, and I have no idea how to move from that spot.
Well, coaching could be said that this body's gone through 1,000,000 years of evolution. It's brilliant beyond measure. How do we elicit what's there and bring it out?
Yeah.
Coaching means I know you have something, and both together we discover what that is. There'll never be a body again like yours. So the game becomes to discover how it works. How does your body turn?
Yeah.
Where's your swing plane need to be? And the interesting part of that is that you not only, I'm not sure the word is right, bought into it, but you actually knew it before the word. You said, I know there's a way that my body can learn, and it's not by following somebody else's model.
Yeah, on the first day, in this little book, it's all written. I'll make my notes with that for years now in this little black, not the red book, little black book for me. On the first day, the first thing I wrote that I throw some clubs.
Yes.
You make videos from me, and compare that to my actual swing motion.
Yes. So we did an exercise to distinguish what your body's capable of. It's an instinctive exercise that everyone can do. We took a golf club, looked down the range, and threw it. And then we took a look. We had your golf swing that you did with a golf ball, and we compared it to this swing. Now, even though it didn't hit a golf ball, it showed that your body was capable of these remarkable motions that you had seen in really fine players. How your body moved, how it synchronized together, how the lag and compression were when you threw a club. And so it was the beginning of seeing that it's possible that you could have this beautiful swing.
Yeah, and that's what really struck me on the day. I see myself on the video, so wow. That's power to the target. That's I have leg, hands on, head.
Yes.
Of everything. My body is driving that one with power.
Yes.
Really? Is that me?
Yes.
And that was the first time something opens up for me.
Really?
And I never expected that would be possible.
Yes. There's something about, for each of us, to see the future that we're going towards already starting to manifest. I find it very inspiring.
Yeah.
To see that your body can already do that. Now the next thing becomes, how do we get that to come out with a golf ball in front of it?
Yeah.
And we begin to see what gets in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like anxiety, frustration, lack of focus,
Mm-hmm.
fear, doubt, all these things.
Mm-hmm.
So a human is capable of something, but we're also capable of interfering. And so sometimes we interfere with less, we do less than we could possibly do.
Yeah.
So the golf school had both of that, both to bring out the capacity and to deal with the interference.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of interference was in my thing. So I told you have to do this one and that one and that one.
Yes.
When I start moving a golf club, I have a list minimum 30 topics
Yes.
to work in less than 2 seconds.
Well, that's why children almost always make more rapid progress than adults.
Yeah.
A child doesn't work in concepts until they get to be about 6 years old. When they're 3, 4, and 5, they pick up a golf club. It's just a pure experience. This feels better than that. This works better than that. It's a simple observation of result, and see what makes a difference. Adults have a lot of shoulds in their head. And they have a lot of, videos that we see how you should swing, or players that you should swing like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've noticed it takes a while to let go of those and say, who I am is enough. Let's see how I can bring that out.
Yeah, that took a while for me too. It was a starter for my personal process, but I always know after I see myself in that one that's possible, and after I see the first things.
Yes.
Well, even after 3 days, I don't have the perfect swing in 3 days.
No one does.
No one does.
Well, maybe the perfect swing ought to be redefined. The perfect swing is fully being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a sense of full self-expression. If there is perfection, it lies within. I know that if you follow a model or you follow a formula, you're never going to feel like you're really free in this game. There's always to remember,
Yeah.
I should,
Yeah.
rather than just saying, wait a second, what's best for me?
Yeah, that's always manual things have to do. Am I right? And even after one miss it,
Yes.
often there's a question, oh, what have I done wrong?
Yes. Well, as you said, I coached a lot of people. Maybe up to this point about 46,000. And I've sat next to all of them while they watch their own video. And what everyone says when they see their video, there is something wrong, except children. Children see
Yeah.
what's going there.
Yeah.
Adults have something they compare it to.
Yeah.
And they say something is always wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, usually what happens, they immediately try to fix something.
Yeah.
But then the thing was unique, I think, also about you. Instead of trying to fix it, you tried to feel it. What am I actually doing?
Yeah.
And I told you in the first golf school that the reason I play better golf than you do at this point is because I experience things you don't experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much a question of time. It's certainly not a question of talent if you watch me ever hit a baseball. But what it is, it's just paying attention to areas that matter. Like putting attention to things that normally been blind.
Yeah.
And that's all it was.
Yeah, and that's when you ask me, where is my club head actually pointing to when
Yeah.
you're coming from here to here? I had no idea.
Yes.
So I didn't feel what happens.
Mm.
And all the other people asked me to change that. But I have to change something that I did not experience.
Isn't that crazy? How can you possibly change something that you don't experience?
Yeah.
I've always thought, why is someone attempting to coach that way or teach that way? It's because their mentors did and their parents did. And I just had a different mentoring. That's all. I'm passing down coaching that I've learned too.
Yeah.
And it simply, change is a very simple thing. To distinguish where you are. To distinguish or feel, experience a new possibility. And in the moment of swinging, to feel the difference in the two.
Yeah.
If you can't feel differences, nothing ever changes.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've
Yeah.
made such great strides. The thing I really appreciate is that you've taken on this as a life work.
Yeah,
And you've made great strides in experiencing things in a very rapid period of time. that many people take decades to, you've done it in a very short period of time.
Yeah, thanks. So, do you start always, I want to become a golf teacher? Was that your vision when you were young, or going to school, or that one?
No, not
so
at all.
how have you developed things like that? I think that's also an extraordinary thing, because
I thought that spending your life on a driving range watching backswings and downswings was for an idiot. Who would want to spend a life like that?
Yeah.
But there were two things that happened to me. One was a fellow coach named Timothy Galway.
Yeah.
And he gave a talk one day. And the talk I sat in with, there was over a couple hundred people there. And he said, the talk was, I'll give a short synopsis. He said, "Who are you?" I thought, well, I know who I am. He says, "Well, you're not your body, because your body changes all the time." And he says, "You're not your emotions, because your emotions can go up and down depending on whatever you see. And you're not your mind, because your mind can change like that. You can even change your mind. So if you can change your mind, you're not your mind, you're not your body, and you're not your emotions." He said, "Who are you?" And that was the end of his talk. I thought that was so good. He just left us in a question.
Yeah.
So I thought, this is really great. I'll do that. So then I went into the Peace Corps, the United States Peace Corps, and spent a couple of years in Africa.
Yeah.
And a lot of things happened. I'm not saying I grew up, but I grew up as much as I ever have. And I came back from that experience realizing it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
I could be a plumber, I can be an engineer, I can be a golf coach.
Yeah.
It matters who you bring to it. And I thought I could bring something to it that I was fascinated in. And what I was fascinated in is how to get the best out of a human being. How they can actually see how extraordinary they already are. How we can deal with interference. And how golf could make a big difference in a person's life. I mean, look, you could learn about self-trust and learning how to learn and focusing your concentration and being present and getting quality time in nature to have the rest of your life work. All of those things are useful. But we think the game is about the game itself. As if all of, let's say we're in Norway now, and if all of Norway got a low handicap, wouldn't it be a great country? And who would care? So the purpose of golf is not just to be good at golf, but the purpose is like any game. Have the game make a difference when you leave the gates of the golf course.
Yeah.
To be a better father, to be a better listener, those sorts of things. And that made it, okay, I'd like to do this.
Yeah, so that's what you really, why you fell in love with coaching, I guess. Things.
And I happened to get lucky to be able to give not an endless amount of individual lessons, but lots. So I began to see what individual lessons could do. So I did thousands of those.
Yeah.
Then I realized what would be more interesting is to spend more time with people. So we did 3-day golf schools.
Yeah.
And the greatest thing in life, I feel, is getting to know another human being authentically, who they really are.
Yeah.
And then from that, I have almost all of my great friends in life have come from golf schools.
Yeah.
There's something about how we share together, and they realize that I'm in the same process they are.
Yeah.
We just have been a little further along the line, that's all.
Yeah.
So to share our own experiences, to me, is one of the best things of life.
Yeah, that's a lot more than golf.
Well, if you say so. A lot of people just make it about golf, as if hitting a 9-iron is that important. Okay, I'm not putting it down.
Yeah.
But you don't use any 9-irons when you leave the golf course. You can use a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that is quite so different than in standard teaching, as where it's just technically where to put your elbow, where to do this one, just putting a bit more weight to the left, do this, do that.
Yes.
But that's a complete whole approach, completely different than what I ever experienced before.
Yes.
And when you think ahead in the future, what's your vision for that, for the next, for golf? What's the vision to for maybe life?
My experience is that golf can be a great teacher, and many people in high positions of leadership play this game. Suppose you could get together a group of leaders that make a difference with hundreds of other people, and coach them in listening, and coach them in honoring their commitments, and coach them in being committed to something bigger than themselves, and coach them into distinguishing how others can contribute to them, and having the jobs they be satisfying, not just satisfying outcomes, but satisfying processes.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I see golf playing a bigger role now than it's ever played.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the average, let's say 20-year-old man or woman will spend about 9 hours a day on their devices and entertainment and looking at their iPads and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. And it's a lot of time and it's very addictive. So being in nature, walking, settling your mind down, learning to be present, letting go of the crazy thoughts in your head, have more importance now than they did when I first started back in 1974.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that notion that golf can be a great coach for many different things is even getting more popular.
Mm-hmm.
So my intention is to not only have golf schools bend in more in that direction, but to do coaching workshops. See, mostly when you observe people who call coaching, they call it patiently waiting to tell somebody what to do. That's not coaching.
Yeah,
It's one
okay.
form of it.
Yeah.
So we did a 3-day coaching workshop with a Pfizer,
Mm-hmm.
distinguishing what is coaching.
Mm-hmm.
We've done many workshops for companies, distinguishing not only coaching, what's the basis of leadership really.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason we would say that I have any sort of, not authority, but experience in that, is we run a company for quite a number of years. And the company works really well in terms of how people communicate, work
Yeah.
together, and feel satisfaction together. So even though it's a small company, I think we have something to say about that. And so a lot of the future will be branching out golf, not only just from golf, but also to coaching and leadership programs.
Mm-hmm.
And my fascination at some point is to work with people who call themselves golf coaches for long periods of time. So people learn through the journey, not through the information.
Yeah.
To go through a certain set of experiences in which they could end up in a place far better than we ever started.
Yeah.
To produce golfers who are satisfied and full of joy, rather than just the score produces that. To have people who love not only the game itself, but love what it could teach them.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is a game worth playing. And I like that one.
Yeah, and then you have a lot of golfers like that.
You.
Personalities at the golf clubs and the community. I think that could change also the whole game.
Well, one person can certainly change a foursome by simply asking the question at the end of the day, what'd you learn today?
Mm-hmm.
First people will say, I don't know, and they'll make jokes about it. But at some point,
Mm-hmm.
when you leave a golf course, if you're examining what you're learning, it's really great. And one committed golf professional can make a difference in a golf club.
Mm-hmm.
And one visionary can make a difference in the entire golf culture.
Yeah.
So the only thing that ever made a difference is one person just standing up and saying, you know what, it can go this way. So that's my interest.
Very cool. The interesting part is that sounds something like it's a bit more mental and not the technical part of golf.
You mean like mental?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, interesting about that. When you ask people how much is mental, a lot of people say a high percentage.
Yeah, 90% up to
90%.
maybe 99. That are the usual answers we got.
Yes, but suppose really that golf is physical.
Mm-hmm.
It's a physical
Mhm.
body, physical ball, physical hole.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is we make it mental. We get to these weird mental states, like wanting admiration, fearing making a mistake, trying to look good, standing over a golf ball. And when you can leave it being mental, I mean, it's in some way, it's simple as throwing a ball against the wall. There's not a lot of mental in that. See walls, hold ball, go.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly enough, it may even not be mental. It may even not be physical. It could be something called commitmental.
Yeah.
Commitment.
Yeah.
What are you committed to in this shot that you're willing to honor? I could say, you know, Martin, what I'm committed to is to being with that target and letting go. Then I hit and you ask me, were you with the target? And did you let it go? Or Martin, I'm committed to seeing the tee on Titleist throughout the entire 2 seconds of my swing. Just honoring your commitment is an amazing thing in golf. And you rarely see it. Most people get to the first tee. In a default commitment, please don't let me look stupid by mishitting this ball.
Of course. And then the story behind it. When I mishit the first one,
It's going to keep going.
Yeah, it will last all day.
Yes. So to be able to have golf be a physical, free act in which you not only love your own golf swing, but it just feels really good to you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I just rekindled the last years on my journey
Yes.
to where am I now, and maybe where am I in the next years. We never know, but the journey continues. There's also a lot of struggle sometimes.
Yes.
So I didn't get solid hit, instantaneous, getting the low point, brushing
Yeah.
the grass in the direction of the target. That one, that took time and effort for sure.
Yes.
It just wasn't that simple, and a lot of mishits and fat shots and whatever.
Well, isn't golf a lot of struggle? But the interesting thing, most people think struggle bad.
Yeah.
Struggle is brilliant. That's how your brain develops. Failure is the most important thing you could do. And we've talked many times, fail as fast as you can. Get your failures going.
Yeah.
If you rob people of failure, you've robbed them of their future.
So when I'm afraid of failing, I want to avoid that.
You've
There's
slowed.
a very slow development, if any, is possible.
Yes.
Okay.
See, one thing I've always appreciated about you, and I've watched you on driving ranges hitting balls, I've noticed that in terms of the failure shaking up people, if there's a scale, yours doesn't shake you up very much.
Mhm.
You seem to hit a shot that fails and click into the question, what am I learning through this? Some people click into, oh my gosh, this is terrible and I hope no one saw me.
Yeah.
But the failure, see, I play better golf than you do because I've failed more times than you have and maybe learned something. It isn't just failing, it's learning something from it. And having that learning capacity from failure is a remarkable gift. I noticed that. When I've been on driving ranges for a lot of years, and when a person hits and they're still there, mishits, and they say, what I really experienced is X, I know they're okay alone. When a person mishits and looks around to see if anybody saw them and feels terrible, grabs another ball and tries to get a good shot as fast as they can without ever experiencing the one before,
Erasing that.
I know I need to go over and talk to them a little bit
Yeah.
on the driving
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
So failure is so important. But our relationship to failure is more important than failure.
Yeah. Yeah. That, I think in last year in Spain.
Yes.
Also, of course, every time I do new things, I have a lot of failure and do whatever until I took a while to find out how maybe it can work, and then just getting more in that. And you hear me, instead of looking around, hear me laughing.
Yes.
That's my thing I developed for that one. And that can also be joy, because when I'm doing it in a positive way, and even on a golf course, with my score going down, well, the shot is already done.
Yes.
I couldn't change that.
Yes.
But why not having it in a manner that I can handle that better and getting something out of it? And if I feel what happens, that could help me for the next.
Well, you've just created a way that you empower yourself through every shot. You know how unusual that is? That mishits are as important as the solid shots.
They are.
And the idea of having a laughter at it, a good, like a belly laugh at yourself,
Yes.
is so different that when you do that, I still look over and smile and want some of that for myself.
Mhm.
I want more and more to be able to laugh at myself.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. These are grown men hitting a piece of polyurethane in a big park,
Yeah.
chasing it and talking about it all day.
Yeah, and then when you ask someone coming, never heard about golf, and ask them, okay, there's like 450 meters, there's a hole like that in this one. How many shots do you think do we take? Well, the answer would be something around 86. and we are talking about, 5 is too much.
And then they would say, well, what's it for? Does
Yeah.
it feed you? Does it put electricity in the
Yeah.
town? No,
Yeah.
it's just to do for fun. Okay,
Yeah.
you put a ball in a hole and chase it back there for fun. Okay. They probably walk away thinking you're a little touched.
Yeah.
And yes, and we talk about, you're right, I'm happy with a 4, I'm sad with a 6.
Yeah.
You get in there.
Yeah.
In one way, it's a total
And that's just
absurdity.
one shot between hell and heaven.
Yes.
Really?
To be able to have several mishits and not have it bother you. Most
Yeah.
people, I think I wrote, are 2 shots away from being crazy.
Yeah.
You can go and they're happy, 2 shots later they're sad.
Yeah.
That's pretty, you're sitting on a pretty scary volcano if that happens.
Yeah,
You go
that
below.
is, but nevertheless, golf is addictive for them,
Yeah.
for all of us.
It is. I am. I've played since I was 4 years old.
That's something quite different.
Yes.
When you see golfers are like me, where I see what's possible after the club throw.
Yes.
Is there something like talent? Do somebody can get that and someone will not have access to solidity or whatever?
Interesting. My experience is that everybody has a special talent. Okay? It could be a talent like a great student.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the talent of power.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the talent of focus. Could be the talent of could be like gracefulness.
Mm-hmm.
Could be the talent of settling in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a talent.
Yeah.
And if you're halfway intelligent as a coach, you find that talent.
Mm-hmm.
And you make that talent come to the fore in each of their practice sessions.
Mm-hmm.
You have a talent of being present and being able to handle a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
So you can spend long periods of time in something and get something out of it. Some person may have the talent of power and you bring out the power.
Mm-hmm.
They may not be as accurate as some, or like say Bubba Watson,
Mm-hmm.
but their talent brings them a long ways along.
Yeah.
And you can also practice things you're less talented to. Like my talent happens to be able to feel rather calm in difficult situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I use that when I play golf.
Mm-hmm.
I can challenge myself and not feel all flustered about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could use a little bit more power, probably,
Yeah.
but I've always had smoothness, so I have that particular talent.
Yeah.
I think that each person has a gift, and coaching is to recognize that early in the game and have a person bring it out and use it. So I won't hit the ball as far as some people. I won't be as accurate as some people. But what I can is I can be fully whatever talents I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I find if I hit the ball as far as I'm able to, I feel very satisfied.
Yeah.
And that comparison to other people can get you crazy, as you know. There will be better coaches than me.
Mm-hmm.
There will be better students than you.
Mm-hmm.
But however, if I can fully be who I am, I think at some point that's enough for me.
Yeah, that's also like we talked about, that there's not a swing model,
Yes.
but your swing model.
Yes.
There's not an even, everyone has talent.
Yeah.
That's the first important statement.
Yes.
And then we have to bring that in line with the golf and golf swing. What they have to access for that, and that's it. And so everyone is able to hit this small rubber piece and put it
Yes.
at a certain distance.
Well, look at
in
these two
direction.
bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I had arms like that. You know, I was thinking if I had arms like that, you know. So we all have different things that we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
And if we talked about the model is yourself for
Mhm.
yourself.
Yeah.
But most people have lived their lives thinking they aren't good enough.
Yeah.
When you ask people, would you like to be yourself? And they say, no, I'd like to be, you know, Tiger Woods. I'd like to be Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
So very few people walk into a say, lead everything out of me that I am. And when I can lead it out of me, I'll be satisfied with my golf game. I am enough. Lead it out.
Yeah.
I would drop it in the dirt if somebody actually said that in a lesson. It's always, I stink, make me better.
Yeah.
So,
And what do I own after 1 hour?
yes, that's right, if I got it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yes, and it's also giving a person sense that to rewire and restructure a brain
Yeah.
takes time.
Yeah.
And to appreciate the process that it takes is another thing. I mean, if I could lift 100 pounds and I wanted to lift 200, I'm not going to expect it to happen in 15 minutes.
No. There's no magic.
No, eat well, keep
double your strength.
lifting, yes,
Yeah.
and work on a pure technique for my own lifting.
Yeah.
That's the best, yeah.
Yeah. So in a lesson, what can be expected is just the start of a process.
Yes, if
And
it's
not
a great
something
lesson.
has to be done
Yes.
or owned, or what can I better at the end, or in some lessons, some teachers tell them, at the end the student has to hit 2-3 good balls, otherwise my lesson wasn't good.
Well, that's like hearing a comedian tell 2 good jokes to send the audience home laughing at their hardest.
Yeah.
They give up real development to
Yeah.
send them home happy.
Yeah.
Is that what all we are? Is just comedians? Or do we stand for a person's real development? That at the end of the lesson, they'll be in the middle of something. Nothing's tied up in a bow.
Mhm.
They go play your golf tournament. You know, at some point, they'll be able to play it in a way that they imagined. But one of the parts of the lesson is tell the truth about learning. Not to have some fantasy. Like we're lived in fantasies. I just moved my hand like this and everything was perfect.
If grip and stance and posture, and then you got it.
Yeah, and if that's what it took to get it, I wouldn't play.
Yeah.
I like a game that has almost an infinite possibility of
Mhm.
learning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't play tic-tac-toe anymore. I know all the moves. It's boring.
Yeah.
Because this is my 44th year of golf. And I feel that the game is expanding for me in what I can learn this time. That's more interesting now than it's ever been. And if I was a judo person, instead of being in a black belt, I feel like I'd need to be in a white belt. I feel like I'm the beginning of something.
Yeah.
And I'm playing the best golf of my life. But yet I feel there's so much to learn. And I think that's exciting. That's what I love the sport for.
Yeah, and it's possible. It doesn't matter what age I am, if I'm male, female, if I'm big or small,
Yes.
if I'm heavy or not, if I have a lot of power or less power. That's the beauty of the game.
Yes. You can explore the gifts that you have. You can learn how to learn. Anyone can play.
And develop my golf.
Yes.
My golf game.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great way to go about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fred, so that is so impressive to see what is possible.
Wow.
And to see even, I feel still like I just started.
Yes.
And I appreciate it. I love that, because what you say, the possibilities in front of us in the future,
Yes.
so great and so interesting, and we did not know what came up, but will be good times and good
Yes.
things.
Well, I also thank you. I mean, you can talk a lot, but the gift to listen and to be a student, and now to be a coach, is very impressive. So, Morten, thanks. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay.